So any idea what is the topic of discussion? No idea? No idea? Hardik, no idea? No? Arpit, no idea? Nobody knows? Chavi, no idea about the topic of discussion? How many of you like window shopping? Raise your hand. How many of you like window shopping? I can see some of you smiling. Babita, you like window shopping or no? Say yes or no at least. Unmute your device, Babita. Anju, do you like window shopping?
Not so much, ma'am.
I know you have been into studies so seriously that you don't get time to go window shopping. Is that true? Okay. Anybody who would like to go window shopping with me? हार्दिक, आप चलोगे मेरे साथ विंडो शॉपिंग के लिए? नहीं? अरे वर्चुअल विंडो शॉपिंग की बात कर रही हूँ मैं, मार्केट जाने की बात नहीं कर रही, ये बैठे बैठे करें, ठीक है? हार्दिक से यस एंड नो बोलना है भाई, बोलोगे नहीं तो क्या होगा? ऐसे ऐसे थोड़ी ना मैं क्लास ले सकती हूँ। अगर कल को आप डॉक्टर बनोगे, अगर आप पेशेंट से बात ही नहीं करोगे, ऐसे बैठ जाओगे पेशेंट के सामने जैसे अभी बैठे हुए हो, ऐसे जैसे बैठे हुए हो, ऐसे करोगे? अच्छा, पेशेंट अगर आकर ऐसे बैठ जाएगा आपके सामने तो क्या करोगे? उसकी शक्ल देखोगे? फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन से डायग्नोस करोगे? नहीं, क्वेश्चन करोगे ना। So you have to speak. It's an interactive session. हार्दिक, ऐसा करते हैं कि आप और मैं विंडो शॉपिंग पे चलते हैं, ठीक है? और ये मानते हैं कि अच्छा जी, मैं हार्दिक कौशिक की बात कर रही हूँ, सॉरी, आई नो 2 हार्दिक हैं तो इसलिए कंफ्यूजन हो रही है। तो बोलते तो सही भी, कौन सा हार्दिक, पूछ तो लो मेरे से। मैं तो कौशिक की बात करी, फिर मैंने देखा कि एक हार्दिक और भी है। ओके, तो हार्दिक कौशिक मेरे साथ हैं और हार्दिक बदवार, छवि और युगम 3 और अंकुर, ये 4 लोग अपना कैमरा ऑफ करें, ऑन रखेंगे और बाकी सब लोग अपना कैमरा ऑफ कर देंगे 2 मिनट के लिए, जब तक मैं कह रही हूँ। बाकी सब लोग कैमरा ऑफ कर लें। थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। ओके, सो हार्दिक कौशिक, ऐसा है कि हम दोनों विंडो शॉपिंग के लिए जा रहे हैं और जो ये 4 लोग हैं, ये हम मानते हैं कि मॉल में इनका कोई आउटलेट है, किसी चीज का आउटलेट है, और हम दोनों क्योंकि विंडो शॉपिंग कर रहे हैं तो क्या हम कुछ खरीदेंगे कि नहीं खरीदेंगे?
सिर्फ देखेंगे।
सिर्फ देखेंगे, है ना? बिल्कुल देखेंगे। हम खरीदने के मूड में तो है ही नहीं है, तो हम ये मान के चलते हैं। अच्छा, आप सब लोग अपना डिवाइस अनम्यूट कर लीजिए अगर आसपास कोई शोर नहीं है। अगर शोर है तो बंद रखना, नहीं तो अनम्यूट कर लो, ठीक है? तो हम ये मानते हैं कि हम इन 4 के पास जा रहे हैं, इन 4 के अलग अलग आउटलेट हैं। तो आप सोचिए कि क्या इनके पास है जो हम ले सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं, और रेट पूछना है, बातचीत करनी है, लेकिन लेना कुछ नहीं है। ठीक है हार्दिक? तो पहले हम चल रहे हैं अंकुर के पास में। तो इमेजिन करो अंकुर क्या बेच रहा है और अंकुर से हम क्या ले सकते हैं।
It can be clothing
सॉरी,
और जो ये बेच रहा है आप जो
मानते हैं, अज्यूम करते हैं कि अंकुर की जो है मोबाइल की वो है, उसके पास एजेंसी है मोबाइल की, मोबाइल शॉप है उसकी। तो ही हैज वेरी फैंसी मोबाइल्स। ठीक है, तो हम अंकुर के पास गए और अंकुर से मोबाइल के रेट पूछ रहे हैं। भैया लेटेस्ट कौन सा है मोबाइल आया है? आईफोन सुना है 13, कौन सा आया है? 13 प्रो मैक्स कौन सा है भाई, बताओ अंकुर, कौन सा है?
आइडिया नहीं आईफोन के बारे में।
चलो कोई नहीं, सैमसंग पता है? सैमसंग,
सैमसंग का भी नया M51 आया था।
ओके। और एक वन प्लस में भी आया है कुछ नया, है ना? चलो कोई नहीं, जो लेटेस्ट आया है उसका प्राइस बता दो थोड़ा सा, क्या है अंकुर? पूछो हार्दिक, पूछो रेट, क्योंकि विंडो शॉपिंग आप कर रहे हो, मैं तो आपके साथ जा रही हूँ सिर्फ।
पहले तो वो जो पर्टिकुलर पीस है वो देखेंगे, मतलब जो हमें
हाँ
चाहिए।
चलो मान लिया, हमने देख लिया, देख लिया। भैया ये कितने का है, पूछ लो।
बताओ भैया कितने का है ये सैमसंग M32 चाहिए हो रहा है? 28,000 का M वेरिएंट में 28,000 का है। 28,000।
हार्दिक लेना है फोन? हार्दिक लेना है फोन?
एक्चुअली ये जो नेटवर्क इशू तो मेरे को समझ नहीं आया क्या बोल रहा है इसमें।
नहीं मैं पूछ रही हूँ, 28,000 का कह रहा है, ये लेना है ये फोन हमने?
लेने के लिए तो हम आए नहीं, सिर्फ देखने के लिए
लेकिन
आए थे।
तो हमारे नहीं है, तो कुछ बहाना मारो, नहीं नहीं मुझे लेटेस्ट मॉडल देखना है, आई वांट टू ट्राई सम मोर। ठीक है, तो चलते हैं छवि के पास, चलते हैं, है ना? तो छवि के पास भी फोन है, छवि से फोन का पूछो, क्या क्या फोन है छवि, क्या लेटेस्ट, क्या है छवि आपके पास में?
iPhone 13 Pro Max मैम।
अरे वाह, ये तो आप चाहते थे ना हार्दिक, यही आप लेना चाह रहे थे, है ना? कितने का है जी?
1 लाख अप्रोक्स।
माय गुडनेस, 1 लाख? नहीं अभी तो भाई हम स्टूडेंट हैं, अभी इतना महंगा नहीं ले सकते। चलो कोई नहीं, अब अगली शॉप पे चलते हैं, युगम के पास चलते हैं। युगम, आपके पास हेडफोन है ना?
यस सर।
ये कितने का मिल जाएगा हमें?
अप्रॉक्स 2000 में।
अरे ये तो ठीक है हार्दिक, ये ठीक है, ये बर्थडे गिफ्ट ठीक है अभी फॉर द टाइम बिंग, पर इसकी थोड़ी और ट्राई कर लेते हैं, है ना? ठीक है, ओके। अब हम दूसरे हार्दिक के पास जा रहे हैं। हार्दिक आपके पास वन प्लस में कोई रिजनेबल रेंज में फोन है? बिकॉज हमें फोन खरीदना है। आईफोन तो बहुत महंगा लगा, हम ट्राई कर रहे हैं।
वन प्लस में 9 प्रो है 50,000।
50,000, ओके। कौशिक क्या कहते हो?
रीजनेबल है सर, ले लो कौशिक सर।
इंस्टॉलमेंट में मिल जाएगा?
इंस्टॉलमेंट में दे देंगे सर।
ये ठीक है कौशिक, ये बात ठीक है, घर जाके बात करते हैं, और अगर इंस्टॉलमेंट में मिल जाता है तो देन आई थिंक इट्स अ गुड डील। ठीक है, थैंक यू भैया, आई थिंक आपने बहुत अच्छा आइडिया दिया, हम आपके पास वापस आएंगे। अब कौशिक, हम इन चारों दुकानों पे गए और फोन देखते हुए करते हुए अचानक रियलाइज करा कि जो हमारे अपने हाथ में अपना फोन था वो गलती से किसी शॉप पर रह गया। ठीक है, वापस आए तो मैंने रियलाइज करा वो जो अपना फोन था वो तो वही रह गया, उनका फोन देखते देखते अपना फोन वही रह गया। अब आप इमेजिन करो कि अब हम वापस उन शॉप्स पे जा रहे हैं और उन्हीं शॉपकीपर से हम दोबारा बात कर रहे हैं। तो अभी तक तो मैं बोल रही थी, अब क्योंकि आपका फोन खोया है तो आप बात करने वाले हो, तो विल देयर बी अ चेंज इन द वे यू विल टॉक टू फोर ऑफ देम?
सिंपली बात करनी चाहिए उनको, पता नहीं लगना चाहिए कि कौन गुम है, जो भी हुआ है।
नहीं नहीं, मुझे पूछना तो पड़ेगा, हमें पूछना तो पड़ेगा कि भी हमारा फोन रह गया आपके पास में, कहना तो पड़ेगा, रिक्वेस्ट करनी पड़ेगी, ढूंढो। बट विल देयर बी अ चेंज इन द वे यू विल टॉक टू देम?
पहले तो हम शायद खुद ही ट्राई करेंगे, एक बार कॉल करेंगे उनको फोन
नहीं,
पे।
हम वापस दुकान पे जा रहे हैं। नहीं नहीं, हम उसी दुकान, क्योंकि अभी तो हम गाड़ी के पास ही आए हैं और गाड़ी खोलते ही हमें रियलाइज हो गया कि फोन रह गया। अब हम वापस रश करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे?
करेंगे ऑब्वियसली, मतलब जाएंगे तो है ही एक बार ढूंढने।
जल्दी में वापस जाएंगे ना, जल्दी में वापस जाएंगे तो हमारी बात करने के तरीके में कुछ चेंज होगा।
होना चाहिए। होगा ही।
क्या चेंज होना चाहिए?
हम थोड़ा जल्दी में उनसे पूछेंगे कि इधर फोन तो नहीं रह गया, मतलब कोई पढ़ा लिखा हो आपको, आपने शायद दिखाए तो उसके तो
हाँ,
कहीं-
और अगर वो हमारी बात को ध्यान से नहीं सुनते तो क्या हम छोड़ देंगे या फिर भी दोबारा रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि नहीं नहीं प्लीज देखो, मिल जाए, मेरे पास मेरा फोन यही रह गया है, मैं यहीं पे आपका जो फोन देख रहा था तो मैंने काउंटर पे रखा था, एक बारी प्लीज नजर मार लो।
सारी शॉप्स हैं, तो हम ऐसे नहीं कह सकते कि आपकी दुकान पे ही रहा है, तो
हाँ।
हमें थोड़ा देख।
लेकिन हम रिक्वेस्ट तो करेंगे उनको, हमारे बिहेवियर में एक वो होगा, एक हम्बलनेस होगी, एक रिक्वेस्ट होगा कि नहीं होगा?
होना चाहिए आएगा।
है ना, होना चाहिए ना, क्योंकि हमें कोई चीज अगर हम ढूंढ रहे हैं और अगर हमें चाहिए तो हमें उसमें थोड़ी तो एक वो वाला होना चाहिए ना कि भी प्लीज हेल्प मी, है ना, आई वांट यू टू हेल्प मी, एक रिक्वेस्ट वाला। तो एक बार ये अब दोबारा जरा सा चलो, पहले हम मेरे ख्याल से अंकुर के पास ही जाते हैं, बिकॉज हम अंकुर से ही सबसे पहले हम इसी की दुकान पे गए थे। तो एक बार आप बात करोगे और मैं आपके साथ में हूँ, बात करिए।
मेरे को सैमसंग का कोई उसका फोन भी मिला क्या इधर, स्काई ब्लू कलर का?
यहाँ
मतलब उनके
आसपास
तो
में ढूंढने की कोशिश किया, यहाँ पे नहीं मिला।
भैया एक बार ही देख लो तो,
अपने
आपने
टेबल के
काफी सारे
ऊपर
फोन दिखाए थे, देखो कहीं उनके अंदर उनके साथ गलती से रखा ना गया हो।
नहीं मिला मैम, यहाँ पे नहीं है।
आपने आपने 2-3 डिब्बे भी खोले थे हमारे सामने, उसमें भी से भी फ्री आपने फोन दिखाए थे हमें।
फिर मैम मैं खोल के बताऊंगा डब्बे, सारे डब्बे जो जो आपको दिखाए थे।
एक बार ही चेक कर लीजिए प्लीज।
जी मैम। मैम नहीं मिल रहा।
हाँ, कौशिक चलो छवि के पास चलते हैं, हो सकता है उसके पास ना रह गया, पूछो।
मैम आपको यहाँ पे आईफोन के अलावा कोई फोन का, मतलब OnePlus Nord 2 स्काई ब्लू कलर का?
नहीं, हमारे पास कोई फोन नहीं है, हम चेक करके फिर भी बता देते हैं। चेक करने के बाद हमें नहीं मिला।
अब कहाँ जाओगे कौशिक?
हार्दिक के पास, दूसरे पास नहीं।
नहीं, पहले
फोन तो
पहले
कहीं
हम
भी
युगम के पास, हाँ युगम के पास जाते हैं ना, क्योंकि पहले हम युगम के पास गए थे।
अभी आपको हेडफोन्स के अलावा यहाँ पे कोई फोन भी मिला था पड़ा हुआ?
नहीं, काउंटर पे तो नहीं है, ना ही टेबल पे कोई फोन है जिसपे मैंने आपको हेडफोन्स दिखाए थे।
आप एक बार चेक कर लीजिए। हाँ,
यहाँ तो
मैं
हमने फोन
चेक
देखे
करके एक
नहीं।
बार आपको कंफर्म कर देता हूँ।
हाँ हमें ध्यान है, हमने सिर्फ हेडफोन ही पूछे थे, फोन तो हमने देखे ही नहीं थे आपके पास से। चलो एक बार ही हार्दिक से पूछ लो।
ये आपको मिला क्या
कौशिक,
Nord 2 जो 9RT नहीं था? OnePlus Nord 2 मिक्स हो सकता है। मैंने
आप
समझ
अनम्यूट
नहीं
करो
था।
ना, हार्दिक अनम्यूट योर डिवाइस।
सर आपका फोन यही पड़ा है, आपको हम कांटेक्ट करना चाह रहे थे, आप आई हो।
थैंक यू सो
थैंक
मच
यू।
हार्दिक। कौशिक थैंक यू तो बोलो अच्छे से। हार्दिक ने हमारा फोन ढूंढ के दिया है।
बाहर तक गया था, मेरे को इतनी ज्यादा टेंशन हो गई थी कि मेरा फोन कहाँ चला गया।
कोई नहीं सर, टेंशन
फोन
तो
तो
ले
आपने
रखो।
संभाल।
सर इंस्टॉलमेंट लिया है सर आपने क्या डिसीजन लिया सर?
सोच के बताते हैं भैया आपको थोड़ी देर तक।
कोई बात
अभी
नहीं
ऐड
सर, टेक योर टाइम।
आप अपना नंबर दे दो, हम आपको कॉन्टैक्ट कर लेंगे बाद में।
जरूर सर, जरूर।
नहीं हम दोबारा आएंगे ना कौशिक, हम इसके पास दोबारा आएंगे, फोन तो लेना है तो फॉर्मेलिटीज पूरी करनी है। तो फिर भी थैंक यू भैया, आपने हमें हमारा फोन दे दिया, हम तो बहुत परेशान रहते।
Mention not.
मैं पीछे ढूंढ के आया, हमारा फोन नहीं मिला. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can I request everyone to have their camera on? There's one more person whose camera is off.
मैम मेरे पास लैपटॉप नहीं है, मैं फोन में क्लास ले रही हूँ.
तो आप कैमरा तो ऑन कर सकते हो हेमलता.
मैम फोन हाथ में पकड़ा हुआ है.
हेमलता, अगर आप फोन कैमरा ऑन नहीं कर सकते तो मैं आपको इस बैच से एग्जिट करने के लिए बोलूंगी और आप नेक्स्ट बैच ज्वाइन करिए, क्योंकि मुझे कैमरा सब बच्चों को ऑन चाहिए.
सॉरी
तो you will have to exit and then join the next batch. और मैं एक बार ये स्क्रीनशॉट लेके अब फाइनल स्क्रीनशॉट लेकर मैं भेज रही हूँ, अगर आप कैमरा ऑन नहीं कर सकते तो. मैंने बहुत क्लियर मैसेज दिया था ग्रुप के अंदर कि बैठकर सुनिएगा, वीडियो ऑन रखनी है, ऑडियो ऑन रखनी है. सो देयर इज नो सेकंड थॉट अबाउट इट. And if every time you'll have your camera off, I will be forced to, exit you, और आप ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाएंगे, फिर आपको अगला बैच ही ज्वाइन करना पड़ेगा. Now, ये फ्रीज कर दूं, ये जितने लोग हैं, that's all. I take the screenshot for all of you. Okay. So if I may ask you, what difference did you see in both the interactions? Just 1 second. हार्दिक, आपका कैमरा बार बार ऑफ हो रहा है and that is causing disturbance because हर बार स्क्रीन की वो चेंज हो रही है. अगर आप दोबारा होगा, मैं आपको एग्जिट करने के लिए रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी और आप अगले बैच में ज्वाइन कर लेना. मेक श्योर दैट यू डोंट on and off your camera because it's disturbing me. I don't have any notes in my hand, so if you will on and off, then the screen changes, I get disturbed. Please make sure that there's no change. Yeah. So what was the difference in the two interactions that Kaushik and me had with the shopkeepers? Did you see any difference? Harshita Gupta.
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
see any difference?
Yes, ma'am.
क्या difference था?
Second time में ज़्यादा polite.
Very right. और
We
पहले में
were
क्या था?
requesting.
We were requesting. Wow, very nice. Very good observation. Very good observation. और कोई? हाँ, बोलो.
First one में shopkeeper request कर रहे थे और
वो कह रहे थे कि परचेज करो. रिक्वेस्ट तो नहीं कर रहे थे, बट दे वर ऑफरिंग. बट हमें पता था हमने विंडो शॉपिंग कर रहे हैं, तो हम लोग बिल्कुल ढंग से बात नहीं कर रहे थे या हम मस्ती में थे. थैंक यू. एनी अदर ऑब्जर्वेशन अर्चिता फ्रॉम योर साइड?
No, ma'am.
But that's good one. That's really good. Jatin, what do you say? What difference did you observe? Jatin Kukreti. Yeah.
Ma'am, I agree with Harshita. In the first one, we didn't have anything to, like we were nothing demanding. The shopkeeper wanted something from us and we were just making a conversation with him. And in the second one, we had something to lose. We were demanding something from the shopkeeper itself. And the shopkeeper was in the superior position.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in a manner, we were in the inferior position than the shopkeeper.
But at least we were
And
trying to, ask for it and request them, please give me, look, please help me. Is that right?
yeah,
Is
ma'am,
that
yeah,
right? Thank
that's a
you.
basic
And
human reaction.
I think both of you have really given a good point. जतिन थोड़ा सा कैमरा ऐसे रखो कि आपका चेहरा दिखे.
Ma'am,
आप हाँ बोलो
actually,
बोलो.
ma'am, I'm using my iPad, so it is not aligned according to my face.
ओ कैसे करोगे? क्योंकि आपका चेहरा नहीं दिख रहा. And I want to see your face. कोशिश करो कुछ हो जाए. So friends, when you come for a program without knowing the purpose of the program, it's like window shopping. When you go for a class without knowing what is the topic of discussion, it's something like window shopping that you don't know because you're not there to buy anything. But when you go with the purpose, when you know what I am here to learn, then just look at the change that Kaushik and me had when we were looking for our phone. We were eager, we were wanting, we were requesting. So if you sit in a class like this, and if you think that's the way the class should be run, just imagine how difficult you will be making your teacher's task. The whole purpose of teaching and learning will get defeated if you sit muted like this. You have no expressions on your face. I said good morning, there was no response. Should teacher be saying good morning or should student be saying good morning, ma'am? I mean, you just passed out of your school, isn't it? I really respect and admire the hard work you have done to be here. I completely understand. But that should not make you insensitive or disrespectful. Being selected at AIIMS is a wonderful thing. But does that bring arrogance? Does that bring misbehavior? I mean, initial 35 minutes have gone for me to help you understand. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to, just deliver a lecture and go away. The whole idea of planning this workshop for all of you has been on for almost like 6 months. 6 months. Your teachers, your director, sir, your coordinator has worked so hard to make this happen. And if this is how you sit and just don't give any expression, don't give any answer, I am still insisting on making sure that I am able to, strike a conversation with all of you and we have some meaningful interaction. But tell me, which teacher will have this much of energy and effort in the college to actually sit and teach you? Teaching is your teacher's responsibility. Learning is your responsibility. And if this is the attitude, I'm really sorry to say, it's not helpful. It's not going to do any good to you. So just a request to all of you, a clear message to all of you, I want participation. I'm not here to do a program. I'll cancel the program if you don't participate. Whatever the consequences are. But that's not the way I want to run the show. We have put our heart and soul to the program because we want to equip you with certain skills that will help you to do excellent in your life. Let me ask you a question. Any idea what is the importance of communication and interpersonal skills in your life? Like what percentage of contribution do your communication and interpersonal skills make in your personal and professional success? Any idea?
Ma'am, it is important in every field of life.
Absolutely.
From academics to like social skills.
Absolutely.
It plays an important role.
Absolutely, Jatin. What percentage can you quantify? Can anybody quantify? Even if it is wrong answer, it's okay. It doesn't make a difference. I'm not giving you a test. Can you quantify 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%? What percentage?
50%.
Much more
How
than
much?
50%.
50%.
50 to
Hardik,
60. Much more than 50%.
much more than 50%. Even Hardik says 50%. What about others? Hemlata, क्या कहते हो?
मैं agree with Jatin.
बबीता क्या कहते हो? कितने परसेंट?
40 to 50%.
40 to 50%. युगम क्या कहते हो?
60 to 70%.
Anybody who thinks more than this? Thank you for answering, Yugam.
I do.
हाँ बोलो बोलो.
According to me, it's like 75 plus.
75 plus. Very close, Jatin. हरिओम आप क्या कहते हो?
60 to 70%.
You know, according to a study by Harvard, 85% of your success comes from your communication and interpersonal skills. Your ability to speak in the class, your ability to participate in the class, your ability to build rapport with your teachers, your ability to build good relationship at workplace, then your interaction with the patient, all that requires understanding what are the essential communication skills and interpersonal skills to make your life successful. If I may ask you to write your communication ability in terms of percentage in the chat box, what will it be? Write your existing, I'm talking about existing communication ability in terms of percentage. Where do you think you stand? Write in the chat box. I think that should give you an idea about yourself. And also the realization that if I don't work on these skills, there isn't going to be a huge change unless you put in efforts to improve your skills. So today's session is about communication and interpersonal skills that you need to excel while interacting with your classmates and your teachers. That's the topic. I put in the group message also and had also requested that come up with your questions and queries, especially those of you who have admitted very honestly that my communication skills are 30%, 20%, 15%. Quite possible it is underestimation of your skills. But if that's the realization, what am I doing to improve it? What am I doing to make it different? If I'm not making any effort, if I'm not doing anything, automatically it is not going to change drastically. There can be slight improvement, maybe 5%, 10%. That's all, unless I'm mindfully working on it. How many of you are having a copy and a pen with you when you're listening to me? Show your hand, Kaushik. दिखाओ दो, पता तो लगे कितने लोग हैं. दिखाओ कॉपी पेन, दिखाओ. हाथ तो खड़ा करा, कॉपी पेन भी दिखा दो.
Ma'am, itself on the iPad I'm using.
Can do that, I'm okay, but you should have a place to note down. That's the idea. जिन्होंने कॉपी पेन नहीं पकड़ा हुआ, एक कॉपी और पेन ले लो. I can wait for 30 seconds for you to go and get your copy and pen. उठ के लेकर आ जाओ. Okay, so in your notebook, draw a circle, small circle, and in that circle write me. ठीक है? Then draw another circle outside, around that circle. Inner circle में आप हो, उसके बाहर एक circle डालो और उसमें लिखो names, not names exactly, you can write even initials of people who are closest to you. People who are closest to you. सिर्फ इनिशियल्स डालो, नाम नहीं लिखना, इतना टाइम नहीं लगाओ, जस्ट राइट. Then create another circle. In that circle, write the people who you think will be of help when you need them. It's more like second level. The first level is the closest. Second level, people who can be of help to you. हरिओम, आपका कैमरा ऑफ है, तो अच्छा होगा आप कैमरा ऑन करें. थैंक यू. बेटा कैमरा ऑन रखोगे तो मैं आपको देख सकती हूँ. अगर आपका कैमरा ऑफ है ना, तो मैं भूल जाऊंगी कि हरिओम और जयंत मेरी क्लास में है. और बाहर वाला जो सर्कल है उसमें उन सब लोगों का नाम लिखो जो आपकी जानकारी में जो लोग हैं वो आर कनेक्टेड विद यू. उनका नाम डालो. अर्पित लिख लिया आपने? इनर सर्कल में किसका नाम लिखा है? नाम मतलब सिर्फ रिलेशनशिप बताओ, किसका नाम लिखा है इनर सर्कल? मी में तो आप आ गए. उसके सराउंडिंग कौन है?
मैम पेरेंट्स, सिस्टर्स एंड फैमिली मेंबर्स.
बिल्कुल ठीक है. फिर कुछ फ्रेंड्स?
यस मैम, क्लोज फ्रेंड्स एक दो.
वो भी उसी में डाला, क्लोज में डाला. ठीक है, इट्स ओके.
जी जी जी.
सेकंड सर्कल में क्या डाला उसके बाद वाले सर्कल में?
उसके बाद मैम टीचर्स हैं, सीनियर्स हैं जो हेल्प करेंगे मैम, आपने कहा जैसे.
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड.
पड़ोसी भी कभी कभी हेल्प कर लेते हैं, तो वो भी है.
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड.
बाकी और रिलेटिव्स हैं,
कुछ ऐसे रिलेटिव्स जिनको आप ट्रस्ट कर सकते हो कि जो जरूरत पड़ने पे काम आ सके. एक्सीलेंट, एक्सीलेंट. अब मैं अगर ये कहूं, और बाकी लोगों ने क्या लिखा है? जयंत आपने क्या लिखा है?
In the first circle, me. In second circle, family members. In third circle, close friends. And fourth circle, only acquaintances.
Very good. Excellent, excellent. किसी ने कुछ इससे अलग लिखा हो? अंजू, आपने कुछ इससे अलग लिखा हो?
नो मैम, फ्रेंड्स, फैमिली और रिलेटिव्स एंड सीनियर्स, टीचर्स, यही सब।
अब अगले 5 साल की रियलिटी क्या है कि आपका जो क्लोजेस्ट सर्कल है वो आपकी टीचर्स, आपके क्लासमेट्स जिनको आपने कहीं काउंट नहीं करा, आपके सीनियर्स, और जो कॉलेज और हॉस्टल में केयर टेकर्स हैं, दे आर गोइंग टू बी इन द क्लोजेस्ट सर्कल. But that relationship will not be readily available unless you create that relationship. पेरेंट्स के साथ, भाई बहनों के साथ, जो स्कूल टाइम के फ्रेंड्स हैं जिनके साथ बहुत अच्छी दोस्ती है, they are there and it has developed over a period of time. But suddenly moving from one place to another place, you require people around you who should be helpful, who should be available, who should be trustworthy, with whom I can share my thoughts and feelings. But these relationships are not ready-made. You will have to create them. You will have to curate them. You will have to work on them. So how many of you have interacted with each other in a very, in easy manner in the last couple of months when you have been together? Okay, one hand raise. जतिन कह रहे हैं कि मैंने सबसे अच्छे से मिला हूँ. Very good. How about others? बाकी लोग? दीपेश, क्या कहते हो? बाकी लोगों से बात करी? हरिओम ने
सभी से मिला हूं मैं.
बात करिए सबसे अच्छे से.
यस मैम.
जितने लोग यहाँ पर अभी हमारे साथ हैं, सबके साथ?
यस मैम.
ओके. और लोग? हेमलता, आप क्या कहते हो?
मैम की है बात सबके साथ.
सबसे बात करिए. कैसा लगा बात करके?
अच्छा लगा मैम.
ओके, वेरी नाइस. हरिओम, आप क्या कहते हो?
अच्छा लगा सबसे इंटरेक्ट करके.
सबसे बात करके अच्छा लगा.
यस मैम.
क्या क्या फीलिंग आई सब लोगों से? अगर मैं पूछूं, हर कोई अगर अपना एक एक पॉइंट बताए. जब फ्रेंड से मिले, किसी का नाम लेके नहीं बताना कि इससे मिलकर मुझे ऐसा लगा. जनरली क्या इंप्रेशन आया, क्या थॉट्स थी क्लासमेट्स को लेकर? जस्ट वन.
अलग अलग पर्सनैलिटी से मिलने का मौका मिलता है.
अलग अलग पर्सनैलिटी से मिलने का मौका मिलता है. वेरी गुड. जतिन, आप क्या कहते हो?
हमारे से एवरीवन हैज हिज ओन स्टोरीज एंड सब लोगों की कहानियां सुनने को मिला. उनका सब, जैसे नीट एक कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम है, तो सबकी अपनी स्ट्रगल स्टोरीज होती हैं, सबके अपने बैकग्राउंड्स होते हैं, वो सब जानने को मिले. एंड काफी रिलेटेबल रहता है जब सब लोग एक ही बैकग्राउंड से एंड एक ही एग्जाम को दे के आते हैं. तो इस वजह से हम रिलेट कर पाते हैं एंड जल्दी दोस्ती होती है. दैट्स ऑल.
एब्सोल्युटली, एब्सोल्युटली. क्योंकि सभी ने एक तरह से बहुत मेहनत करी होती है, बहुत हार्ड वर्क किया होता है. बहुत पिछला टाइम तो वैसे भी कोविड की वजह से बहुत ऐसा सबके लिए डिफिकल्ट गया. आई एम श्योर इट मस्ट हैव बीन वेरी चैलेंजिंग फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू. anybody who got something very interesting or something very strange, हमें नाम नहीं लेना किसी का भी, पर कुछ ऐसा सीखने को मिला, देखने को मिला. अंशिका, आप क्या कहते हो? What has been your experience? अंशिका चौधरी. अंशिका, मैं आपको सुन नहीं पा रही. आप बोल रहे हो या नहीं बोल रहे हो? कोई चैलेंज तो नहीं है आपके एंड पे अंशिका, जो मैं ना समझ पा रही हूँ? प्लीज टेल मी. कोई और बता सकता है? अंशिका के एंड पे कोई चैलेंज तो नहीं है? अंशिका, इज एवरीथिंग ओके एट योर एंड? आपका मुझे लगता है डिवाइस ही कनेक्टेड नहीं है, इसलिए आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही. जब आप लॉग इन करते हो तो उस वक्त उसमें वो ऑप्शन आती है, तो आपको उस वक्त वो ऑप्शन को क्लिक करना है कि आई वांट टू यूज द वाईफाई मोड एंड ऑडियो डिवाइस माइक यूज करोगे। एक बार ही लॉग आउट करके लॉग इन करो। एक और नाम पढ़ पा रही हो, अमानिया, इज दैट ओके? अमानिया, मैं ठीक बोल रही हूँ आपका नाम? अनम्यूट करके बोलो ना अपने डिवाइस को, कैसे मुझे कैसे पता लगेगा आप क्या बोल रहे हो? प्लीज अनम्यूट योर डिवाइस। आप लोग तो आजकल के बच्चे हो, आप लोग की तो टेक्नोलॉजी तो बाएं हाथ का खेल है। सो अमानिया, प्लीज अनम्यूट एंड स्पीक। The challenge is on the device or your ability to speak? So if you're not able to speak, then I will request you to exit and join the next batch, because it's not possible for me to check with everyone. You have to unmute and speak if you want to be present in the program. Anybody else? युगम, आप क्या कहते हो, क्या रहा आपका?
मैम सबके अलग अलग थॉट्स होते हैं, ओपिनियन होते हैं हर चीज के, तो मैम डिफरेंट थॉट्स एंड ओपिनियन जानने को मिले मैम, हर किसी
देखने को, जानने को मिले। Anything new or different that you thought or felt, or it changed your mindset?
मैम दूसरे के स्ट्रगल्स में जो गलतियां थी उनसे सीखने का मौका मिलता है कि वो गलतियां हम रिपीट ना करें। सेकेंडली ये पता चलता है कि किसके साथ हमारा थॉट प्रोसेस मैच करता है, किसके साथ नहीं करता। अगर नहीं करता तो हमारे में पेशेंस लेवल डेवलप करता है कि इसको किस हद तक टॉलरेट करना है और हमें उस सिचुएशन से कैसे एग्जिट आउट करना है।
वाह, बहुत बढ़िया। आई थिंक लोगों से इंटरेक्ट करके उनका टेम्परामेंट समझ आता है, उनका बात करने का तरीका समझ आता है, बिहेवियर समझ आता है, सब समझ भी आती है कि हमारी इनके साथ बनेगी नहीं बनेगी, इनका कैसा नेचर है। आई कंप्लीटली एग्री। आई थिंक जयंत, ये बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट आपने बोला। When you are getting to know each other initially, it will take you time to learn to understand their personality, their behavior, their socio-cultural background. All of us are coming from different backgrounds. So it will definitely take you some time to understand each other. But initially move with an open mind, because a lot of time we judge people on the basis of their appearance or their clothing or their language or their ability to speak English or Hindi. But actually, the person may be very different from that particular attribute. So be slow in forming your impression or knowing them. So I'm going to do a small activity where I'm going to put you in a breakout room. Although we normally say that we take time to gel with people, we take time to know people. So I'm going to send you to a breakout room with just one partner, and both of you need to speak turn by turn for 1 minute. The total activity will be of 3 minutes, where you need to share your story of the efforts that you made to be here. Is that okay? So basically what I'm wanting that you discuss how hard you have worked to be here. Just share your, that hard work story. And I'll put you in the breakout room for total 3 minutes. So first one person will speak, the other will listen, and then the other one will speak and the first one will listen. And then I'll ask you to share your discussion in the group. So I'm going to create a okay. So this will be so you have to you will get the option to join. So click join. So Hemlata, you are supposed to be joining somebody. So there is nobody with you, Chavi? Chavi? There's nobody with you?
अभी तक बना नहीं था।
नहीं, आपको आया था ऑप्शन टू ज्वाइन अ ग्रुप?
Yes मैम,
Did you join?
एग्जिट हो गया, किया तो था।
I think आप और दीपेश इकट्ठे हो. Both of you are together. Okay.
Yes मैम।
You can start the discussion. दीपेश, आप दोनों बात कर सकते हैं, अपना अपना टर्न बाय टर्न बोलिए. पहले छवि आप बोलिए.
About what?
How hard you have worked to be here. ये आप दोनों को एक्सचेंज करना है, 1-1 मिनट बोलना है. पहले आप बोलेंगे, फिर दीपेश बोलेगा.
Okay. 2 साल की मेहनत थी, 2 साल लगातार जो भी पढ़ाई की थी उसकी वजह से बाकी सब चीज से कट ऑफ, सोशल लाइफ कट ऑफ हो चुकी थी और कोविड के बाद तो घर पे ही ऑनलाइन था, जो भी था खुद अकेले बैठ के पढ़ना होता था, कंपटीशन का पता नहीं चल रहा था। कोचिंग के जो फ्रेंड्स उनसे भी सिर्फ ऑनलाइन इंटरेक्शन हो रही थी, रियलिटी में किसी के साथ ऐसे फेस टू फेस कम्युनिकेशन नहीं हो पा रहा था। यही था।
आप लोग आपस में बात नहीं कर रहे हैं? अनम्यूट करो. छवि, क्या बोल रहे हो?
मैंने बता दिया मैम, नाउ इट्स दीपेश टर्न।
और Amanya, you didn't join the other group?
Ma'am, I have joined and we are told
आप
about
किसके साथ पार्टनर थे?
Jayant.
Jayant is here.
Yes.
Jayant, please have your camera on. तो आप लोगों की जल्दी बातचीत हो गई?
Yes, ma'am.
Let everybody come in and then we'll have discussion.
हो गया। क्या है? अच्छा, सबसे होगा क्या? हाँ बताओ, बताओ स्ट्रगल कहाँ पे था?
Okay, so welcome back. How did it feel?
नाइस
Talk.
मैम।
Sorry, you were saying something. Go ahead, please. कैसा लगा?
नाइस मैम।
अच्छा लगा. So,
Yes, ma'am.
what was the experience like? Please explain. Anshika, is your device okay now? Anshika, is your device okay? I'm not able to hear. Babita, क्या experience था? Share your experience.
मैम अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था, ऐसे मतलब पता चला कि कई कई बेसिक मतलब स्ट्रगल के हिसाब से जो हमने पढ़ा, या फिर मतलब उस टाइम पे कैसे मोटिवेशन आता था पढ़ने का, इस टाइप से।
तो एक दूसरे के बारे में समझ आया कि क्या सबके चैलेंजेस रहे हैं, क्या हार्डशिप सबने फेस करी हैं, स्पेशली कोविड-19 को अगर ध्यान में रख के बात करें, तो आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ यू हैव फेस्ड अ लॉट एंड इट हैज बीन अ फुल ऑफ uncertainty, period of full of uncertainty. So I'm sure it must have been a very difficult phase for all of you. That's true. So anything that you think that happened that you really liked about the activity? जतिन, आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे हो?
नहीं मैम, इट वाज गुड इंटरेक्ट किया। इनफैक्ट हमारा तो फर्स्ट टाइम ही हुआ है, मतलब मेरा और अंजू का।
ओके। और ये ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ आप लोगों को नयापन लग रहा होगा। मौलाना आज़ाद मेडिकल कॉलेज के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मैं तकरीबन पिछले 10 साल से एक फुल डे प्रोग्राम करती हूँ, जिसमें ऐसे बच्चे जो है वो 30 के बैचेस में होते हैं और वो ऑन साइट प्रोग्राम होता है। तो आई बेसिकली टीच देम हाउ डू यू कंडक्ट पेशेंट इंटरव्यू। कैलगरी कैम्ब्रिज गाइड का बेस बनाकर हम लोग जो है वो पूरा इंटरव्यू हम डिस्कस करते हैं। उसमें ये वाला जो एक्टिविटी जब मैं करती हूँ, लॉट ऑफ देम इन स्पाइट ऑफ द फैक्ट वो पिछले 5 साल से एक ही क्लास में हैं, दे हैव नॉट इंटरैक्टेड विद ईच अदर। क्यों? क्योंकि 2-2, 250-250 बच्चे हैं क्लास में। आपकी क्लास तो छोटी है, 50-60 बच्चे हो आप लोग, लेकिन बड़े मेडिकल कॉलेजेस में जहाँ 2-2, 250-250 बच्चे होते हैं, बहुत बारी आपकी बहुत सारे क्लासमेट्स के साथ में सिवाय गुड मॉर्निंग या हेलो के कोई बात नहीं होती है, और यू विल जस्ट एक्सचेंज योर स्माइल्स, whereas actually lot of good interaction can happen. So knowing your friends, interacting with them, talking to them is very important, because ये हमारा असली सपोर्ट सिस्टम है. स्पेशली जब हम कॉलेज में हैं, अवे फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स, अवे फ्रॉम फ्रेंड्स, तबीयत खराब हो जाए, कोई काम दिक्कत हो, कोई असाइनमेंट करने में दिक्कत है, कहीं कोई चीज खो गई है, कुछ लानी है, these are the friends who will be of help to you. Similarly, with teachers also. How many of you proactively make effort to build rapport with your teachers? Just 1 second. So how many of you make, effort to connect with your teachers? No? जयंत ने हाथ उठाया. Okay, that's very nice. हरिओम ने भी हाथ उठाया. बाकी लोग? What about others? जतिन भी कह रहे हैं कि yes. See, proactively अगर आप अपनी टीचर के साथ खुद को अलाइन नहीं करेंगे, they are there to teach you, but only students who will make connection with them will be benefited most. वो तो सबको equal पढ़ाएंगे, but there has to be an effort from your side to connect with them. So if I go back to your relationship with your classmates, have you heard of the concept Johari window? किसी ने सुना हुआ है ये कॉन्सेप्ट? किसी ने? नहीं, क्योंकि ये मेडिकल सब्जेक्ट नहीं है, तो आई एम श्योर नहीं सुना होगा. सो जो एंड हैरी वर 2 सोशल साइकोलॉजिस्ट. उन्होंने ये कॉन्सेप्ट दिया कि वी ऑल हैव 4 एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ आवर लाइफ. One aspect is I know and others know. Okay, let me show you the screen to make it more clear and understandable. So is my screen visible to you? To all of you? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So Joe and Harry, they were two social psychologists who gave this concept called Johari window. It's a very well-known concept to understand self and others. So they say that individual's personality can be divided into 4 quadrants, in 4 parts. The first part is I know and others know. So for example, now you're meeting your friends, your classmates, it's an initial interaction with them. So a part of yourself will be now known to them. They will know who you are, where do you live, or like not much, but it will be very little that they will know about you. Then there's another part of your personality which you know, but others do not know. And that part is called private self. So that means all those things that you are still not able to comfortably talk about, or you don't feel like sharing with your friends or classmates, and you want to avoid talking about those things, will come in the private self. The third part is called blind spot, and blind spot is the things that we have, but we don't know, and others know about it. So that's like blind spot to us, because we have no idea about what is, good or bad in me, but others have an idea. The fourth part is called area of unknown activity. That is aspect of us that neither we know nor others know. So what studies suggest, people with a larger public self are likely to have a more successful life, are more confident in their approach, are able to lead life more peacefully and happily. So if I say that I want to suggest you to improve your public self or enlarge your public self, can you suggest me some ways? How can I improve the public self? How can I improve the size of the public self? Can you suggest me some way? Write in the chat box your thoughts. If I want to increase the size of the public self, what is the way out? Very good. By interacting with colleagues, classmates, batchmates, absolutely. Increase your confidence. Yes, if you'll increase your confidence, you'll be more, comfortable talking to you. Yes, Hardik, I agree. More and more interaction. Yes. By interacting with different known or unknown people openly, very good. More interaction. Absolutely. What more? What more? So when I say interact and meet people, talk to them, open up, that means your 2 things will come in open. Yes, very good. To be comfortable in communication, absolutely. Sharing and knowing others' problems, highs and lows, definitely. I think, Chavi, that's a very good answer. That's a wonderful answer. So that means if I really want to increase my public self, I have to open up. See, a lot of you don't like to open up. Do you think what could be the reasons why people don't like to open up? Why don't we like to open up with people? Can you write your answers in the chat box? Very true, Babita. Feel shy. Usually that's the common reason. Due to hesitation. Absolutely, Anju. Again, a wonderful answer. Self-conscious. Absolutely, Jayant. I think you're very spot on. Very right. We are mostly, conscious. We are hesitant. We think people are judging me. People are evaluating me. People are assessing me. So people are making an opinion about me, which is absolutely right. I completely agree. Very right. Phobia of others. Absolutely, Jayant. Again, a wonderful answer. A lot of time we have fear to speak in front of people because we fear that I'm going to be judged and people are going to think me less. So I better keep quiet. Lack of confidence. Absolutely. Anju, again, that's a good answer. Introvert. A lot of us are introvert by nature. So as a result, we prefer to keep quiet. So there is nothing wrong in being introvert. Being introvert is okay. There are people who are introvert and very successful. But when you interact with people, you get to know about others. You share your thoughts and feelings, and that brings in new flavors to your life. Suppose if you are sitting quietly in the class, not talking to anybody, or have just few friends, how will your growth get affected? Can you think and write in the chat box? If you don't interact with your classmates or with your teachers effectively, how do you think your growth and your overall development gets affected? Write your answer in the chat box. बहुत सारे लोग जवाब नहीं दे रहे हैं. Give some answer. It's okay. It could be right or wrong. It doesn't make a difference. Share your thoughts. So if you don't interact, if you don't socialize, if you just stay close, how does that affect your growth, development, and your overall performance? Yes, we cannot experience broader spectrum of thoughts, views, and mindsets. Absolutely, Jen. Very good idea. It decreases exposure to different ideas. Again, a good idea. Less experience for different personalities of people. Yes, because you have not dealt with them, so you have no exposure. Cannot improve confidence. Could make you look rude. Hardik, this is wonderful. I think this is a very good answer. You could appear to be rude and egoistic. People might read you as being egoistic, that you are not talking. It could be because you're shy. It could be because you are uncomfortable. But others might view, oh, this person never talks. He's very cold. He's very egoistic. Absolutely. What do others say? Can't improve confidence. Yes, Dipesh, again, a good idea. Unless I will do, how will I learn? If you want to learn driving, you will have to do it. You have to actually sit in the car and drive. There will be initial some mistakes. That's perfectly all right. But once you will actually keep driving, it will automatically, ultimately, you will get a hang of it. Yeah. And then what else? What about others? I have not heard some answers from Hariom, आपका जवाब नहीं आया. बबीता, आपने नहीं जवाब दिया. और युगम, आपका जवाब नहीं आया. I'm keeping an eye. कौन बोल रहा है, कौन नहीं बोल रहा. Passive listening is half learning. For full learning, you have to participate. It would definitely affect your development in life. People will not have, good impression of you. People will not proactively come and meet you because कोई किसी के पास टाइम नहीं है कि वो स्पेशली आपके साथ आके बात करेगा या रेपो बिल्ड करेगा या आपके साथ दोस्ती करेगा. So proactively you have to make friends with people. But at this time, I know it takes time to find people with whom you really, really align well. जिनके साथ आपका temperament match करेगा, जिनके साथ आपको comfortable लगेगा, जिनके साथ आप अपनी कई बारी personal बात भी share कर सकते हैं. लेकिन उससे पहले you have to move with an open mind that this is the set of friends I am going to be together for 5 years. And trust me, today you may appear stranger to each other, but these are the friends you will have all your life. So if I talk about my college days, I passed out in 83, my graduation, I passed out in 1983. Probably some of you were not even born at that time. I still have those friends with me, and they are the only couple of best friends I have with whom I can talk and I can share all my thoughts and feelings with them. It's very important to have friends with whom you can connect, with whom you can talk, with whom you can share your feelings. So among this batch of say 50 students or 60 students that you in total class is, you will definitely find few people with whom slowly you will start feeling more comfortable. And a point will come where you will also start sharing your private self. I'm not saying share your private self with everybody and anybody, but it's important to have somebody with whom you can talk your heart. So if I go back to the presentation, if I want to increase my public self, the only good way is I'll have to actually reduce. This is the person who has smaller public self. So if you have smaller public self, you are likely to be quiet, timid, not comfortable talking to others. So automatically your growth is going to get affected. People who have high blind spot, that means they don't know what their lacunas are. They are again likely to have less friends, because if you are egoist, if you are rude, if you are aggressive, if you are, you talk loud, then chances are people will avoid you. But if you really want to, have a larger public self, you will have to reduce your private self. So some of the things which can comfortably be shared, for example, a lack of confidence or inability to express, it's all right. You are in a new place. It's perfectly all right to feel hesitant, to feel quiet, to feel shy, to feel people are judging me. But then if I want to really, really come out of it, I have to work on myself. So you'll find people in class with whom you connect well. And once you are able to have good relationship with them, once you see they are trustworthy, they don't go and talk about you or whatever information you share with them. They don't go and speak to others. That will give you a confidence. Okay, this friend of mine is trustworthy. So with that person, you will slowly start having, better relationship. So automatically your private self will start reducing. So when you will share your private self, the other person will give you some feedback. आपने ये गलत करा या आपने ये ठीक करा, आपको ऐसे नहीं बोलना चाहिए था. When they will give you your feedback, automatically your blind spot also will get reduced. So when you will use self-disclosure and blind spot regularly, automatically your public self will improve. So with your friends, with your classmates, with your teachers, they are the real set of support system available to you. So with them, definitely you really need to work on choosing right people to be close to you. But being available for your class is very important. I'm sure you can see a lot of you are coming from very diverse background. Somebody could be from a very humble background. Somebody may not be, may not have very well educated parents, or they have a very humble profession. That's perfectly all right. You all have reached here. That makes you all equal. So treat each other with respect, with care, with open mind, and don't judge each other on the basis of their dressing or their language or their background. But stay non-judgmental, stay nice, stay good to each other. And then you will see people will open up. Especially some of you will be hesitant to, speak. So as friends, we have to create an environment where they can also speak comfortably. What happens? Some of us speak very well. So usually we will be leading the discussion or we will be interacting with the teacher. But there will be set of students who are equally intelligent, who are equally smart, but maybe they have language skill, maybe they have difficulty, speaking in front of others. So they're shy or they're conscious of themselves. If we will laugh at them or if we will not include them, their personalities will not grow. So college is not just for your medical education. As a person, as a human being, you should be able to grow to your best version. And for that, each one of us will have to really, really, be nice and kind to each other, be non-judgmental, be trustworthy, be available. A lot of you may experience anxiety, a lot of you may experience missing home, or many of you may feel, depressed. So as friends, if you can identify, okay, this person looks very quiet, this person looks very sad, reach out to that person, connect with that person, see how you can help that person, and you can really make each other's life, safe and good. On the contrary, if you see your friends be feeling bad or sinking or going low, and you don't care, if you don't bother, there's a risk to their life. So being available, being, kind and nice to each other is very, very important. And, your attitude and your way of communication plays a very big role in bringing people close to you. Did you all take that questionnaire that I sent you in the group? All of you? Raise your hands who have not done. Who have not done. Okay. So you have 4 scores with you. Am I right? So can you write all 4 scores with a comma in between in the chat box? Write all your 4 scores in the chat box with a comma in between. Okay. So we all communicate in different ways. Some of us, when we are in a group setting or when we are in a large group, we do not speak much. We do not share our thoughts, especially if there's a chance of disagreement or there's a likelihood of an argument, or when others appear to be, dominating the discussion. There's a Jayant, you have written 3 scores. You have to write 4 scores. Check what has gone wrong in your scores. There are total 4 scores, and there has to be a comma in between. Yeah. So a lot of us take that stand, especially in a group setting, and that stand is called passive communication. So your second scores, not the first one, second score is your passive communication style score. जयंत, आपका चेक करो, कुछ गड़बड़ है आपकी, या तो स्कोर गलत है या आपने टेस्ट गलत लिया है या नंबर गलत डाल रहे हैं. It cannot be 1, 2, 14 and 20. It cannot be. It cannot be. Okay. So your second score is your passive communication score. Then a lot of us would not speak up initially, but we carry that grudge within us. For example, there is some discussion happening, you are not agreeing, you will not say your opinion, but you will be unhappy and you'll carry that grudge. And that is called passive aggressive communication style. So your third scores, you can note down in front of that score, is your passive aggressive communication style score. Many of us become quickly irritable, aggressive, loud, lose control, and we become aggressive in our interaction. If somebody is not listening or not agreeing or not following the instructions, we start shouting or raise our voice or appear aggressive. And that style is called aggressive communication. So your last score are your aggressive communication score. Many of us communicate very openly, very honestly, confidently, positively, respectfully. And that is called assertive communication. So your first score is your assertive communication score, which you can see for most of you, it is very high. Rather, it is highest, except for 1 or 2 of you. So that's interesting that you are already asserting. So your way of communication is good. But your second highest score is the score that will come in action the moment you are in a difficult situation. So for example, if I take Okay, whose example? Okay, if I take Amanya. Amanya, please put your scores in the group because they should be able to see your scores. Yeah. Okay, I'm taking Ankur's example. Ankur, if I take your example, your scores are 18, 10, 16, 12. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So your primary way of handling your situation is assertion most of the time. But in case if assertion is not working, you are likely to become passive aggressive.
Okay.
Do you agree with your scores?
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you will withdraw, but you will be unhappy inside. You will be unhappy inside. Yeah. So Anshika, I'm taking your scores as an example. So Anshika, if you look at your scores, it is 15, 12, 10, 16. Is it correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Anshika, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
So Anshika, if I look at your scores are 15, 10, 12, 10, 16. So that means you use assertion, but you're very close to using aggression as the way of communication. So very quickly, you will move to using aggression if your communication is not making a way. If you feel, well, I'm not able to get what I want, or if I'm not able to connect, you're very quick to move, or alternatively, maybe you use aggression and assertion in your communication. Do you agree with your scores?
Yes, ma'am.
So we will discuss how this communication can, harm us if we are using aggression or passive communication. How it can harm us, we'll talk about it. So Amanya, if I take your scores, even in your case, you are very likely to use passive communication in most of the situation. Do you agree with your scores, Amanya?
Yes, ma'am.
And the second score is you are likely to use sometimes assertion, sometimes passive aggression, sometimes aggression. Aggression is less, but very often you are using passive communication where you withdraw, or where you, or use assertion. Okay, if I go by Hemlata's communication scores, Hemlata, your scores are 1, 5, 14, 18. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So Hemlata, in your case, and even Jayant, in your case, if your scores are right, I'm not sure, but you really need to redo this test. Your assertive communication scores are 1. It's not helpful. If you will not assert, you will not be able to protect your rights. Tomorrow, when you will talk to your patient, how will you be able to confidently handle that situation? In the classroom setting also, with your classmates, how will you be able to hold a stand if you are not asserting? So for both of you, your aggression scores are very high. Do you agree with your scores, Hemlata?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you aggressive by nature?
Sometimes.
But your answer says a lot of time. Jayant, what do you say? There is Jayant. So Jayant, are you using aggression a lot of time?
Yes.
That's showing that you are using a lot of aggression. So anybody who would like their scores to be discussed or explained? Raise your hand if you want your scores to be discussed. Okay, Arpit. So Arpit, if I look at your scores, okay. So Arpit, in your case, your assertion score is very good. It is 18. That's a very good sign. Your other scores are not very high. They are high, but then chances are you will mostly be using assertion. If that does not work, then there's a possibility you will either become aggressive or you will become passive aggressive. So I'll be explaining you briefly about the advantages and disadvantages of each style. That will give you an idea how you now need to work on your communication so that you are able to learn the right way of communication. So please, take this course seriously, and that should give you an insight about how you are dealing with yourself. So Chavi, you want to be explained about your scores?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Chavi, in your case also, your scores are similar to Arpit. You are primarily using assertion as a way of communication. But in case if that does not work, you will most likely use passive communication or may use any other two also, depending upon what is on, what is this situation. But you are most likely going to use assertion in your communication. And that's a very good thing. Keep it up, and that should become your primary way of handling situations. Okay. Jatin, in your case also, I think your scores are quite similar to Chavi's. So in all your communication, mostly you will be using assertion, where you will be able to communicate with a lot of clarity, but not being rude and adamant. But you will be able to put forth your opinion in a very honest and open manner. And in case that does not work, because there are situations, for example, you're talking to your teacher, you will try to say, but if the other person is not agreeing, I'm sure you will not further argue. You will not further force somebody. You are likely to use any three: aggression, passive aggression, and passive communication, in case if things don't turn your way. Hardik, in your case, Hardik Kaushik. Who wants Hardik Kaushik? Who wants Hardik? Just 1 second. Okay. So Harshita, I'm looking for your scores first. And where are your scores? Okay. So Harshita, yes, I need to tell you clearly, your passive communication scores are high. They are higher than assertion. So I would advise you to work on your assertion. And I'll give you very, very fine and very simple tips to all of you. All those of you who want to excel in assertion, because that's the healthiest communication style. And that right now, if you will start working on it, by the end of your medical school, you will be actually able to deal with any adversity very comfortably, even when it comes to talking to aggressive patients and their family members. So Harshita, in your case, your passive communication style is more often used than the other styles. So I would advise you to move on to assertion, because assertion is second in your case. But I'll give you the tips to help you understand how you can work on that and how you can improve your assertion skills. For everyone, I will do that. Okay. So Hardik Badwar, let me see where your scores are, Hardik. Okay, yes. So Hardik, in your case, you are using assertion in most of these situations. But if that does not work, you are likely to use passive aggressive style, where you will become quite apparently, but inside you will be unrestful and you will be, cribbing and trying your ways to show that you are really not happy. Hardik Kaushik, your score says 17, 11, 8, and 11. So in your case, you are using assertion. That's a very good thing. In case if that does not work, you will not become passive aggressive. You will either become passive or you will become aggressive. Do you agree with your scores?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So Yugam, if I look at your scores, okay, where are your scores? So Yugam, in your case, again, you are using assertion as the primary way of handling situation. So in your case, you will not become passive or passive aggressive, but you are likely to become aggressive. So again, aggression will fuel aggression. So we have to really see how we can avoid being aggressive, especially in healthcare. We cannot afford to be, aggressive. We really need to see how we can stay assertive and stay calm. I'll talk about that. So Jayant, in your case, you are using a lot of aggression. What I would suggest, Jayant, to you and to Himlata, both of you take this questionnaire once again. There's a possibility that maybe you have not answered it, but there is some error. So please take this questionnaire once again for both of you, Hemlata and Jayant, you also. And we are meeting on Tuesday. We can discuss that. Otherwise, I can discuss in person also with you. In case if that is the score, real score, then I think we really need to work on it. So let me quickly share you the interpretation of, the understanding of this score, because ultimately this is going to help us to change our way of, handling situations. So we have around 15 minutes time. Let me quickly share this screen and share a couple of points on it. Yeah. Okay, so you can now relate with your scores, the understanding of each score. So a lot of time there will be a disagreement in the class or at home with your family members, with your siblings. Some of us prefer to be quiet and we use passive communication of a way of handling situation. So when you're using passive communication, you are likely to actually keep quiet. You're not going to express your thoughts and feelings in an honest manner. The idea is to avoid conflict. And as a result, you will just defer to others' opinion, agree with others without actually sharing your honest opinion. Usually, you will use low tone, low volume, in your speech, and you'll make less eye contact because you want to avoid any conflict or avoid any communication. Of course, it's a very safe way, and it is as it has very little risk involved. But see, some of the examples that you will be using very often when you are in a group setting where people ask you for your opinion, you might either say, I don't know, or whatever you think, you have more experience than me, you decide. I'll go with whatever the group decides. I don't care, it doesn't matter to me. Will not ask for help. And also, if you have to say no, you will have difficulty saying no because you don't know how to actually explain to the other person that why can't I do it. So if you are using passive communication, once in a while it is okay, especially when you know the issues are minor. So I'm not asking you to speak in every situation, even if it is not required. When issues are minor, it's okay to be quiet. When you know the result of pushing the issue would cause more problems than benefits, it's better to be quiet in that situation. If it's a small issue, you can just let go. And when there's a power differential, for example, if you're arguing with somebody who's in power position, maybe even your teacher or your, some administrative staff, there's a difference between arguing and, putting your point, and I will explain you. So I'm not saying that you should not put across your point, but you should not be arguing or you should not become aggressive with them. So in that situation, maybe you would like to, take a different stand, which is all right. Or when you are in a conflict with the person in a, position of law, then there it is better to be quiet rather than arguing or fighting with that person. There's another way we all handle, which is most common that we use when we are unhappy and we don't like and we don't agree. Apparently, we might appear very calm. but at the back of our mind, we know we are very dissatisfied. So you will see these people, they will forfeit their rights initially, but they will follow it by manipulation and vengeance. तो मुंह पे नहीं बोलेंगे, अपना ओपिनियन नहीं देंगे, लेकिन बाद में बैठकर बुराई करेंगे, बाद में बैठ के गलतियां निकालेंगे. The goal of this style is again to avoid conflict. लेकिन at the same time, they want to make the other person feel that I wish you had asked me, I wish you had checked with me, I wish you had spoken to me. So passively behave करेंगे देखने में, but later on if they get a chance, they will become aggressive, or they may sabotage, they may go and do backbiting or gossiping around you, or spread rumors about you. They will not say anything on your face. A lot of time they will use sarcasm. So some of the examples that you will see, they'll say, okay, I'll do, but then they'll say, I've forgotten. Or they may even comment something like this, you are good at this, you should be doing it, or you are fantastic in this. So they don't want to take responsibility, so they will just praise you, false praise, and then they will ask you to do. A great idea, again, it's sarcastically. Then if you will ask them to do something, they'll change the subject, but they will not take the responsibility. So again, passive-aggressive style is not helpful, because when you are using this style, people get to know you ultimately. They will stay away from you, especially when it comes to taking your help, or being honest friends with you. They will avoid you because they fear that you will not be a trustworthy person and you may fake. The third style very often we use, and that is called active aggression. In active aggression, we actually argue or fight with the intention to win at all costs. And we always assume that what I'm saying is right. So a lot of time, both the parties could be right, but person who is aggressive is more likely to believe that I am right and you are wrong. So they will protect their rights at the expense of others. They will not consider the consequences of an action. So they will not hesitate arguing with their seniors or with their classmates or with their teachers or with people in authority, whereas they know that it will have its own consequences and it will backfire, but they will not realize, at least in the moment. If you will look at their body language and eye contact, you will see that they will have angry and intimidating eye contact and facial expressions. They will not listen to others. They'll try to control and dominate the situation. A lot of time they will use foul language, they will belittle others, they will be loud in their interaction, and they'll have a lot of negative energy. Even use of violence and verbal abuse is common among people who try to become aggressive, because it escalates. It doesn't stop at one place. So some of the examples you will see in their communication, when they will say, I don't know why you can't see this. This is the only way to do it. So what do you know about this place? I know these people, I know this place, I know about them. So they'll try to show that they know more and they are better at handling things. So they may even belittle others by saying, can't you see that this will not work? I don't care what you feel. I'm going to do it this way. This is the only way to do it. So they will not care for others. They'll just give orders and instructions. So people who use this communication style, often they need to remember that if you are always attacking and accusing people and shouting at others, it's going to shut down all further productive communication. Not only this, you will actually lose a good relationship in that bargain. Because if you are using a lot of name calling and shouting at people and accusing others, people are not going to take it. They're just going to distance themselves from you, and they will not like to be in your company. So before you do this, I think it's important to remember that you're going to lose a lot in this bargain. So some of the ways that can help you to work on your anger or impulsivity or aggression is things like taking deep breath, taking a glass of water, moving physically away from that situation, so that will bring calmness and that will give you a chance to work on your communication and make it better. A lot of time we have to learn to practice compromise, because it's not that I win and you lose, even both the parties could actually win. So sometimes aggression is overlooked, especially when it is an emergency or crisis situation, when there is no time for discussion and explanation and to utilize assertive skills. And when you are the only one who can save the situation. So people don't mind your aggression, but on a regular basis, if you're using aggression, people are not going to be happy with you. So All these three ways are unhelpful and unproductive because they don't bring in the desired result. The correct way of handling a situation is using assertion skills, especially when you're dealing with difficult people. We think that, okay, this is the only way to deal with them. Well, problem is we don't know the right skills, how to deal with even difficult situations. So these skills will help you to learn any kind of communication. For example, as I said, in assertiveness, you are not adamant, you are not rude, you are not aggressive, but you are expressing yourself in an open, honest, positive, and confident manner and respectful manner. So approach here is not to win. The idea is that I will protect my rights and I will respect your rights. So in assertive communication, you will see people will protect their rights and also respect others' rights. So the goal of assertion is to communicate in a respectful manner and also understand others' point of view, to find a solution to the problem and strive for a win-win. Not that I trust my opinion on you and I make you agree, but you look for a way where you can actually create a win-win situation. So you will see people who communicate in an assertive manner, they are able to communicate effectively while maintaining eye contact, present their wishes clearly and respectfully, are confident and are strong, yet flexible. They are objective in their approach and they don't easily get overwhelmed where they become angry or anxious or irritated. They will listen to others and also validate others. And for example, during the discussion, if a person who is asserting gets to realize that, okay, the other person's opinion is more valid or more useful, this person will not hesitate agreeing to your point of view. They'll say, okay, I think what you're saying is right. I think it's we can pick the idea that you're offering and work on that. So that means they are not fussy about their idea. They are looking for the best idea that will help to resolve the situation. So very often you will see them using this way of communication. I can see this is important to you and this is important to me as well. Perhaps we can talk more respectfully and try to solve the problem. Or they may say, I think, I feel, I believe. Very often you will see them using I think, I feel, I believe, because they want to own the idea or the thought that they are sharing. Even if they will ask somebody to, speak or share their thought, they will be respectful by inviting people to say, okay, I would appreciate if you share your thoughts. I understand you have a different point. I would really appreciate if you share that point with us so that we can consider your idea also. So that means they're genuinely inviting the other person to share their thoughts. So in case if they have to, say no, so something like this, I'm working on something very urgent. Is it okay if I help you after I'm done with the task at hand? Rather than saying, no, I'm doing something very urgent, I can't help you. So there's a proper way of saying no. Or for example, if you really cannot help, I've stayed late last three times in a week. Can we take this tomorrow? Rather than saying, I always stay late. I can't do this now. Let me talk to you tomorrow. So instead of being rude and blunt, you can use the right words and right language. So if I compare all four styles, passive people who use passive communication, it's emotionally dishonest because you are not expressing your emotions and thoughts in a honest manner. So they will usually use indirect way of communicating. They'll be quiet or not communicating. They will be inhibited because they will not speak their mind in an honest manner. As a result, they are actually self-denying. They are not looking after themselves. They are not sharing their thoughts. They are not exercising their rights. They will usually use blaming others for their quietness, that you were shouting, so I kept quiet. And they will be apologetic sometimes for no reason. People who use passive aggressive style, they are again emotionally dishonest because they are not respecting their emotions. Their approach will be indirect. They're also self-denying at first because they are not respecting their rights. Self-enhancing at the expense of others later, because then they will use mechanisms to show themselves important or more knowledgeable by putting the other person down. People who use aggressive style, they are again they are inappropriately honest. That means they're too blunt. too harsh, too rude to speak to. So you'll find them very direct and expressive. Mostly their approach will be, attacking and blaming others and attempt to control others. So they are self-enhancing at the expense of others. Whereas in assertion, you actually are appropriately honest. You know what you want to say and why you want to say, and you are careful that what you say has to be said in a manner that does not hurt others, that does not, harm others. So person who uses assertion will be direct in approach, self-enhancing, expressive, self-confident, empathic to emotions and others also. So you will see, if you look at two important, points, that is clarity of communication and consideration for others. So people who will use assertion, they will actually have highest clarity of communication and also consideration for others. So they will say everything very clearly, but they will also remember that what I'm saying should not hurt or harm anybody else. On the other side, if you see, we all try to, win, which is perfectly all right. In aggressive style, we say, I win, you lose. In passive style, we think the other person is better, so let that person win. It's okay if I lose. In passive aggressive style, actually you're taking a stand where you will also lose and the other person will also lose because you're sabotaging. On the other side, in assertive communication, you create a situation where you win and you make sure that the other person also wins. Okay. So Jayant, I think you are by mistake annotating on the screen. Can you stop doing it? Okay. So again, if you see the two things, if you can remember when you are communicating, your, openness to communicate and consideration for others. And if you will do that, you will actually be creating a win-win situation for yourself and for others also. We all take these situations, these stands in our life. This is a concept offered by Eric Berne, who is a very famous psychiatrist. He has written very interesting books like I Am Okay, You Are Okay, Games People Play. So according to him, we all place ourselves in front of others. So in some situations, we think I am better than others. So I say, I am okay, you are not okay. In some situations, we place ourselves less than others. So we think, I am not okay, you are okay. In some situations, we place ourselves equal to others, where we say, I am also okay, you are also okay from your point of view. And in some situations, we think none of us is okay. So you can see in passive communication, we say, I am not okay, you are okay. So we put ourselves at a lower pedestal. In passive aggressive, we put both us and others at a poor pedestal. In aggressive approach, we put ourselves at a higher pedestal than others. Whereas in assertion, we put both us and others on the same pedestal, and we believe both could be right in their in their role. So this is one questionnaire. If you just quickly have a look, I wish we had time. I'll share this in the group, and you can do it. This should tell you these are, I think, 14 statements. On how many statements are you really, you have yes and as answer. So higher the answer, you can say more assertive you are. I'll share this screenshot with you. So it's always advisable to assert in all situations, whether it is with friends, classmates, seniors, at home with your family members, and in classroom with your teachers. So if I may conclude by saying that when you are communicating with people, these 7 C's, if you can remember, it will make your communication better. One, when you're communicating, be clear about what you want to say. Try to speak in a very concise manner so that you can say whatever you want to say in the shortest and the smallest possible way. Be concrete so that you don't, confuse yourself and others. Make sure that what you're sharing or saying is correct. You have checked the accuracy, both in terms of its authenticity and also grammatically. It should be coherent so that the message is well understood and put logically. It should be complete in the manner so that the other person can actually understand the complete message. And courteous, most important, where your message is put across in a polite, friendly, professional, and open manner. Because if you are not using this way, then chances are your communication can go wrong. So very quickly, just last 2-3 minutes to tell you when you are actually practicing assertion in any situation, couple of things that you have to remember. See, we all communicate through 3 ways. One is language, second is paralanguage, third is body language. So if I talk about language, when you are communicating, make sure that you always use respectful language. Even if you are very angry with somebody, never, never, never go down in language. Your language should be respectful, exemplary. Because the moment your language will go down, the other person also will go down to that level and there can be an argument. So that's part one. Paralanguage is basically how we speak. So most important is your tone of voice. Your tone of voice should be clear, audible, firm, but not intimidating and aggressive. Tone of voice appears harsh. For example, somebody comes in and I say, "Aye." And instead of saying like this, I say, "Aye." Is there a difference? Is there a difference? You could sense it. You could sense a difference. So make sure that your tone of voice is not rude and authoritative or angry. Then speed of speaking. Usually when we are angry, our speed of speaking goes up. Or when we are inconfident, the speed of speaking goes down. Maintain a speed of speaking. Volume. Again, when we are angry, volume goes up. And when we are inconfident, our volume goes low. So make sure that you maintain the volume of your talking to a manner that the other person can understand. And then is your body language. In body language, first is your facial expressions. If your facial expressions show that you are angry, you are shouting, even if you are not shouting, it will appear that you are unhappy and dissatisfied. So make sure that your facial expressions and your body language. So sometimes when we have our hands on our waist or at back, or when we have tight fist, that shows that we are angry and we want to fight or we want to shout. So if you can look after all these 3 things, use right language, use right paralanguage, and use right body language, you can say whatever you want to say. So, but when you assert, after you have spoken, allow the other person also to speak. Listen to that person. Rather, it is better if you ask that person to speak first so that you get an idea what that person wants to say. So ask him, what is it that you want to tell? Listen to that. In case what the person is saying is right or partly right and partly wrong. If it is fully right, agree. I think you're right, I'm wrong here. Point 1. If it is partly right, what is right? Say, yes, I think I agree with you, but this point I don't agree. And if you completely don't agree with the point, then don't say I don't agree with you. Instead say, I look at it differently. I feel differently about the same situation. I think this is another way of looking at it. So that means you are just giving your thoughts and you're not trusting upon the other person. The other person is more likely to agree with you if you don't trust your opinion. And this is something, these 5 years, if you're practicing your communication skills effectively, trust me, tomorrow when you will have to deal with the most difficult set of patients, you will still be able to handle them very, very effectively. When they don't listen, when they don't agree, when they argue, when they become aggressive, you will be able to handle any situation out of this. Do you think this helps?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So before we end, one quick takeaway in the chat box that I want to see from all of you. What is your takeaway from today's session? assertion does not mean being rude or loud. Please remember, that is not assertion, that is aggression. Be very clear. Very good. Be a good listener, confident yet polite speaker. Thank you, Hardik. Assertive communication is best way to communicate. Yes. How to communicate in a good manner. Hemlata, thank you. Good answer. Be assertive, Jan says. Yes. Be confident and clear. Yes, Babita. Absolutely. We should practice our communication skills because it really matters. Try to be more assertive. Absolutely, Kaushik, I agree with you. Thank you. Will improve my communication skills and will move towards more assertiveness. Wonderful, Yoga Michael. I'm glad that you are taking this as a task. Interacting with more and more people will always help to build one's skill set in many fields. Yes, Datin, I agree with you. Be a good speaker. Very important, very important. And I just end this with a story so that you know why it is important to be confident. See, you were not opening your mouth when I asked you, tell me who is there, what do you want? Two things that I can say. Have you heard of that story called escalator pitch? Have you heard of that story? Anybody? No. So there's a story going on, how far that is true, but the message is very, very apt. So I must share with you. You know, somebody had gone to Ratan Tata with a project proposal. Ratan Tata had asked him to come and discuss his proposal for funding. And he did almost like a month's preparation to, work on this proposal. He sat and wrote this proposal in a wonderful way. He prepared a beautiful presentation, a lot of exhibits to show to Ratan Tata. So he goes to meet him, and incidentally, Ratan Tata was busy in a meeting, and he had another meeting. So he comes out of this meeting room, but he says, "I'm really sorry, I don't have time to now sit and talk to you, but I know you have done a lot of preparation. So we have 7 minutes time from here to my car." By the time we, walk down the escalator, we have 7 minutes time. So you can give me an overview of your project, and if I like it, I'm with you. I'll definitely fund it. So this person who had prepared such a huge presentation and everything, he knew this is my only chance to impress Ratan Tata. So whatever he had prepared, he just kind of, at the mental level, he compiled, and then in 7 minutes time, he talked about the proposal. And by the end of 7 minutes, Ratan Tata said, "Yes, I'm with you. Come on this date and I'll sign the contract." So it's very important to confidently talk about yourself, talk about your thoughts, talk about your feelings. But that will not come automatically. If you're thinking by being a doctor, you will be a good doctor, no. I am teaching communication to doctors for almost like 30 years. I'm associated with so many medical colleges. Trust me, the violence we are experiencing, the problems we are experiencing is just because we are not able to effectively communicate. And this is your golden chance to now try your hands at it and learn, consolidate your skills. 85% of your success will come from your, if you are at AIIMS, you're already, you have established your intelligence. But this is not the end. This is just the beginning. You have to work on your clinical skills. You have to work on your communication skills. And second story that I want to share you, the importance of, knowing yourself, introducing yourself effectively. I went for a program as a student like you. Like you, I was a participant in one program. And the speaker asked us to introduce. I missed this in your session because we lost a lot of time in the beginning just to asking you to have your camera on, camera on, camera on. So we lost 35 minutes and I had to cut down on introduction. So same way we had introduction there. I was very clear what I'm going to tell about myself. I had made my points very clear that this is my introduction. I introduced myself. After the class, when we were having tea, the speaker came to me and said, we have a program going on for doctors, and we are looking for somebody who can, talk on communication with them. Can you believe how many programs I did after that? Any guess? Any guess? $500. 50? Good guess, Hardik, I would say. Good guess. At least you tried, I'm glad. 500 programs. So speak, please speak, don't hesitate. You have the freedom to even go wrong. It's all right. You're still in the budding phase, building yourself. I don't expect you to be excellent at it. But if you will not take a first step, you will never learn. So in the classroom, if you will not speak, teacher will not realize whether you know or you don't know. Even if you give wrong answer, teacher will say, "Beta, ये गलत है, ये इसको पढ़ो." अगली बार आप पढ़ के बोलोगे, पर बोलोगे ही नहीं. Teacher will never come to know how knowledgeable you are, how much of hard work you're doing. Is it making some sense? So on Tuesday, we are going to talk about professional grooming. And we'll understand why is it important to pay so much of importance to professional grooming. So have your questions ready. I was expecting you to have some questions about at the end of the session. It's okay. I understand you met me for the first time, so naturally you didn't know what to expect. But for your second session, have clarity about why we are discussing professional grooming. And if you have any questions, we must take them up. Okay? Should we end it here? So we are meeting on Tuesday, 2 to 4. Just to tell you, I'm not in India right now. I'm addressing you from US. And when you were sitting at 4 o'clock in front of your camera, I was up 4 a.m. in US to be with you. For me, it was 6:30 in the morning when I started my session with you, but I got up at 4 o'clock. And when I will meet you on Tuesday, I'll be getting up at 3 o'clock to be with you at 4:30. For me, it will be 4:30 morning. For you, it will be 2 o'clock. So you can well imagine the seriousness with which we are taking this session. But if I don't see the same desire and flame in you, my energy to teach you goes down. I want to see that energy. Done? So in the WhatsApp group, put one learning that you had from today's session as your takeaway. In the WhatsApp group, I want each one of you to share your learning of today's session. Will you do? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you,
bless
ma'am.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So see you on
Thank you, ma'am.
Tuesday. Thank you. God bless you all.